The next system we'll be talking about is the skeletal system, and for me this system is the easiest system in the body. So the term skeleton comes from a Greek word meaning dried up, and the study of bones, because the skeletal system is made up of bones, is called osteology, and there are approximately 206 bones in the human body. So but this human skeleton is divided into two distinct parts. We have the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So the axial skeleton, it consists of 80 bones that form the head, the neck, and the trunk. So in the axial skeleton, we have the skull, which are the bones that are found here. We have the auditory ocells. These are the bones that are found in the ear, they aid in hearing. So we have 6 of them. We have the hyoid bone, which is this bone that we can see here. Yeah. And we have the vertebral column. These are the bones that are found here, which are the spinal cord. Then we have the thoracic cage, which is made up of the ribs and the sternum. This is the sternum and these are the ribs. So we have 12 ribs on each side. So in total 24. We also have we have 10 true. Out of these 12 ribs, we have 10 true ribs and we have 2 false ribs. So what we mean by true ribs are ribs that are connected to both sides. So this rib is connected to the sternum and also connected at the back, while the false ribs are not connected to the sternum. So we call those false ribs. We have 2 of those and we have 10 of the true ribs. So that's the axial skeleton. So I said this the simplest system we have in the body, but we remember that we have 80 bones in the axial skeleton, we have 22 in the skull, we have 6 in the auditory, we have 1 hyoid, we have 26 vertebral column. There are there's things you will get to know that is important to know in the vertebral column, but I will leave you with that. There are different types. We have the lunar vertebra, we have the thoracic vertebra, like that in the vertebral column. But that's so we'll be going to the appendicular skeleton. The appendicular skeleton consists of 128 bones and is the upper limbs and the lower limbs. So the bones that make up the upper limbs and lower limbs are called the appendicular skeleton. There are 64 bones in the upper limbs and 62 bones in the lower limbs. The bones, the upper limbs are the bones in the arm, and while the lower limbs are the bones in the leg. But there are also a few bones that make up the appendicular system. These are the shoulder guard. This is the scapula, or our shoulder blade. These bones, the clavicle and the scapula, is one. And then we have the pelvic girdle. This is our hip bone. So these are the upper limbs. We have the shoulder guard, hip bone, and the lower limbs. So in the upper limb, we have also different type of bones. The humerus is the long bone in the arm here. The longest bone in the body is the femur, this bone here. So, but that's the appendicular system also. Then types of bone. We classify bones according to their shape: long bone, short bone, flat bone, and irregular bone. Long bone are, from the name, they are long. So long bones they include the humerus. As you can see in this place, the humerus is a pretty long bone. So the tibia is also a long bone. The fibula is also a long bone. So these are long bones. Short bones are bones that are found in our fingers. We have the metacarpal, the metacarpal, and the phalanges. As you can see on our arm, these short bones, those are the short bones. So we have flat bone. Flat bone, from the name, they are flat. These are bones in the base of the skull. Sorry, not verts, base of the skull. And we also have ribs. They are flat. The sternum is also a flat, and the scapula, which is this bone here, is also an example of flat bone. Irregular bone are vertebrae. the bones in the vertebral columns, they're irregular bones, meaning they don't really have a shape. They're just irregular. Their shape is just anyhow, to put it like that. So the vertebra is an example of irregular bone. The hip bone is an example of irregular bone, and the bones at the base of the skull are example of irregular bone. So that is all for the skeletal system. So to me, that's why I said this is the easiest skeletal system. So just remember that the skeletal system is divided into the axa and the appendicular. The axa is made up of 80 bones, and we have the head, the vertebral column, and the thoracic cage, and so on, all the three ocelli. And while the appendicular is made up of upper limb, lower limbs, the soldier girdle, and the hip bone. And the types of bones are classified because of their shape. So the way the shape of the bone is, that is the type of the bone. And that's where we're going to end this skeletal system. Thank you for watching. Peace.